Stories of Great Christians. From its radio studios in Chicago, the Moody Bible Institute greets its friends everywhere with Chapter 7 in the transcribed story of Florence Nightingale, the Lady with the Land. As the possibility of a romantic involvement became more and more remote, even Mrs. Nightingale began to entertain the idea that Florence, after all, might have to substitute a career for marriage. Still, she could not bring herself to approve of nursing as a profession. She had a horror of what people might think. Florence's father, however, swung actively over to his daughter's side, and when she asked for permission to take training at an institution at Kaiserwerth, Germany, he consented. Pastor Fleidner and his wife, Frederica, directors of this institution, had mixed feelings as they awaited the arrival of the elegant society lady from England.
Theodore, Miss Nightingale should be in the station in an hour, according to her letter. Shall I send Henry to fetch her?
I sent him a few minutes ago, dear.
Theodore.
I see that line between your eyes again. What's troubling you?
I guess I shouldn't worry, but we've taken a lot of women into service here. Oh, some were of doubtful reputation. Some were excessively poor, but completely respectable.
But none of them was ever a society lady. Now, that's what you're thinking, isn't it?
How do you think she'll like it here? The food is so plain. Almost no meat, and vegetables only once a day.
We can't afford any better. And it nourishes the body.
Oh, I'm not complaining. Just wondering. It's all right for us, but... and then there's the matter of where she's to sleep. Such a hard bed she probably never imagined in her whole life.
Well, she wanted to come. She is evidently deeply in earnest. If God wills that she stays here with us, He can make the hardships endurable. Your baggage, Miss Nightingale?
Just the one small trunk in this suitcase, Pastor Fleidner.
Henry, take Miss Nightingale's baggage to her room.
Yes, sir.
You must be tired from traveling all day.
Only a little. I was much too full of anticipation to do more than barely notice where we were going.
You left Carlsbad this morning?
Yes, very early in the morning. I understand that everyone rises early here.
At 5.
Splendid. I want to make the most I can of each day that I'm privileged to be here. So an early start will suit me wonderfully.
Just this way to your room, Miss Nightingale.
Oh, I hope you plan to treat me as you do any nurse entering service here. I want to learn everything just as you ordinarily teach it.
It's good to find you so minded, Miss Nightingale. We do intend to let you take the usual course. This door here on the right.
I'm afraid it's a very plain little room.
But clean. And cleanliness is most important, don't you think?
Yeah. We strive to keep everything orderly.
I'm already impressed with your earnestness. I'll be completely happy here, I know. It's taken me years to realize my dream of coming, and I'm sure I shall treasure every moment I spend here. I was living at the Institute only 5 days when I felt completely at home. On Sunday, I took some nearly well boys for a walk along the Rhine River. Another nurse accompanied me to help me keep order.
Miss Nightingale, did you see the yellow bird?
Yeah, it flew up right out of the grass, Miss Nightingale.
That one? The one flying into the tree?
And here's where the wildflowers grow, Miss Nightingale. Can we run ahead a little? I want to show the other boys where I saw a lot of them.
All right, but don't get out of sight. Oh, they're so full of spirit today.
This walk was just the thing for them. It's done them more good than medicine, I'm sure.
Oh, it's been very pleasant taking them, nurse. Oh, what an expanse of water.
The Rhine at this season is very full.
And it moves so slowly and calmly. Yet one is aware of the power of it.
Are you enjoying your stay at Kaiserworth, Miss Nightingale?
Tremendously. I can't say how much.
The children certainly have enjoyed you.
You know, it amazes me how the little ones pray, right out loud. And another thing that delights me is the way everything is taken to God in prayer.
Well, Pastor Fleidner teaches us that God is concerned in even the smallest details.
You know, I noticed that particularly last night. Had Carl been naughty?
Yes, that's why Pastor called on God to give him a repentant heart. By the way, tomorrow's Carl's birthday.
Oh, is it really? And will they have a celebration for him too, like they did for Anna?
Just the same. Every child has a celebration for his birthday.
Oh, how charming.
And every child is allowed to ask a few guests. You'll be invited to all the celebrations, I dare say.
I'm not a bit deceived. The youngsters are mostly curious about the funny foreign lady and her odd ways.
Oh, but there are your stories. They love the way you tell them, Miss Nightingale.
I brought you flowers, Miss Nightingale. Mine are the prettiest. Look at the color. Isn't this beautiful?
Yes.
The days at Kaiserworth are ending almost too soon. 4 months seemed hardly 4 weeks. But I've taken all the training Kaiserworth has to give me. Studies of the hospitals in Europe and England have given me an understanding of basic principles. So I've been able to absorb the instruction here quickly. Pastor Fleidner is so devout. I wish he knew hospitals as well as he does the Bible. The greatest thing he's given me is an awareness of the relation of our work to God's divine purpose. But though I couldn't ask for a more dedicated spirit in any work, I do see things that need correcting. Oh, why am I such a perfectionist? I can't help thinking that the nursing here is nil, hygiene horrible, and the worst part of Kaiserworth is certainly the hospital. And now back to Mamma and Parthe. But I'm going in a new spirit this time. My day of independence has come. Papa is on my side. And when I get back to England, I'm going into service. Where and what it'll be, I don't know yet. God knows that I'm ready, though. But when I saw Mamma again, it wasn't so easy. The strong ties of family affection were still holding me. I determined to make one last appeal for sympathy.
I think, Florence, that it might be best not to discuss this Kaiserworth episode with anyone.
But, Mamma, the Herberts came to visit me personally while I was there.
Still, the Herberts are noted for their, what shall I say, liberal ideas.
And the Bonsons and the Sam Smiths and Lady Inglis and the Plunketts, all of them approve.
But all of those people belong to a certain
group of people who are willing to look for something better in the future.
I suppose you might put it that way. But you know very well that there are people in our acquaintances, why, in our own family connection, who would strongly disapprove.
All right, Mamma. I'll not talk it to people who have no interest and who might think it outrageous. But I will...
When you get back to Lea Hurst, you'll think differently about all this.
No, Mamma. I'll never think differently. I'm determined to go into this work. Oh, if only you could see it. If only I could make you understand.
But, Flo, there are so many ways to help.
Nursing is God's way for me, Mamma.
Why must it be nursing? Why can't
My
you...
darling Mamma, trust me, won't you? Help me. Give me time. Have faith in me. I cannot say how much it grieves me to make you so unhappy.
But we do trust and love you, Flo.
Then please, let me follow the dictates of the Spirit who guides me. That Spirit will never lead me to anything unworthy.
But, Florence, it's our very love and concern that makes us want to find a better life for you. And how can you ask your own mother to consent to a plan that will only ruin your life?
To get sympathy and help from Mamma looked hopeless. But I felt I must go ahead. So I began with what was closest at hand. There were a few deaconesses whom I wanted to visit. I wished I didn't have the feeling that Parthe and Mamma were using my absence as a chance to talk me and my affairs over.
So busy, Mamma, dear?
Packing. I've been at it since Florence left to visit some deaconess.
I should have been up and helping you all the while. But I felt terrible.
Same complaint.
Same beastly headache. I'm afraid the bath didn't do me too much good.
You must stop worrying over Flo.
Oh, but Mamma, I can't help it. She does the most upsetting things.
I'll be happy to get her back to England.
Yeah. I hope Flo will be able to apply all the fine things she's learning to make us a little better.
Yes, if there are to be reforms, I guess they'll have to come through people like Flo.
Still, Parthe and Mamma could not reconcile themselves to the idea of my going into service. It was as though I desired to be a serving girl. But Papa was otherwise minded. And when an opportunity came at last, it was to Papa that I appealed. It's not decided, Papa, but it's in the air, and I wanted to talk to you about it.
Who first told you about this post?
Liz Herbert. She heard of a group of ladies who are reorganizing this hospital and allowed a few hints to be dropped in the proper places.
But doesn't it seem strange that a group of ladies should be so interested in a hospital?
Ah, but this is a particular kind of hospital. A remarkably proper one.
Remarkably proper? What do you mean?
It's an institution for a special kind of patient. Think of it, Papa. No people of low character are admitted.
Then who is?
Well, there are a great number of very respectable women who work as governesses or in other posts of that sort. You know yourself how poorly they're paid.
I begin to see. They get sick occasionally, too.
You are right, Papa, they do. And it's pathetic how often these poor creatures have no one to turn to when they're ill. So the ladies have set up a committee and organized a hospital for them.
And someone has to direct it.
That's right. And Liz Herbert has a notion that that's where I enter on the scene.
What success do you think she'll have in getting you named?
Well, she seems to think that it could be done without too much difficulty.
You realize that to maintain a separate existence requires funds, don't you?
But just suppose I were a son, Papa. Suppose I had married. In either case, I'd cost you a great deal more.
Well spoken. Well, Flo, I've given your case a good deal of thought in the last month or two. And it may interest you that I've pretty well decided on a plan of action.
Have you, Papa?
Mm-hmm. However, your mother might not approve. But I'm eager to see you get ahead with your determination. So I'm going to give you an allowance.
An allowance?
Mm-hmm. I'll see that it's paid to you quarterly. That will be enough to cover your needs.
Oh, how good, how generous you are, Papa.
No one need ever say that you're not going into the work strictly for reasons of philanthropy. Of course, if those ladies get around to making you director, you can accept the job if you like. But you must not accept a single penny in the way of payment for service. Is that clear?
Yes, Papa. And thank you.
You've heard Chapter 7 in the transcribed story of Florence Nightingale, The Lady with the Lamp. This is another in the series of stories of great Christians which come to you from the radio studios of the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.